Hey guys, it's Brenna again, this time with a recap of the episode House of Trickery, House of Unity. But before I start, I just want to let you guys know that there is another House of Anubis vlogger out there now. He left a comment on one of my videos, so I decided to check out his vlogs, and they're actually really good. So his name is Patrick. I'll leave his YouTube link in the description. I think he's about my age, so they're kind of like similar to my style, but I thought it would be cool for you guys to get a second opinion if you're interested. So he's got some good recaps and reviews on his channel, only for the first 2 episodes, but I think he said he's gonna make more, so definitely go check him out. Yeah, on that note, let's get to it. Okay, the first and like most important arc of this episode is the whole thing going on with Amber, and like Sibuna's kind of involved with it too. It's basically the heart of the episode. So it starts when Amber gets caught in the tank room. Miss Denby walks in to go check on the tank man, and Amber has nowhere to go, so she plays dumb and pretends she has no idea how she got there. But Denby's kind of like freaking out because like, oh no, there's a student in my secret chamber. Meanwhile, back at school, Sibuna's still kind of freaking out because Amber still hasn't showed up. They don't know where she is, and they ultimately decide they need to go tell an adult because this is serious if she hasn't been back in so long. But when they do go to tell the adults, they end up playing along rather than acting suspicious. So that makes Sibuna really suspicious because they seem to know where Amber is and they say she's in the gatehouse, and Sibuna's just like massively confused because they don't know how the adults would know that, so that leads to them like being really confused. I mean, I said that twice, but yeah. So Sweet and Victor go off to the gatehouse because Denby called them over, and since Amber's dad is there, he also wants to know where the heck his daughter is, so he has to go along too. And this makes Alfie like really nervous because he's worried that what these people are gonna do, because he knows they're kind of evil and he wants to go check on Amber right away, but Fabian and Patricia have to reassure him that, you know, her dad's gonna be there, they can't really do anything bad, we'll go find her as soon as we possibly can. So Victor arrives at the gatehouse before all the adults, and he sees Amber and talks to her in private and basically threatens all of her friends if she does not do exactly as he says. When her father does arrive with Mr. Sweet, she expands on her lie and says that she has been sleepwalking a lot and she must have sleptwalked all the way into Miss Denby's house. But instead of being understanding, her father's actually like really mad at her because he's like, oh well, the cause of your sleepwalking must have been you not paying attention to your studies. I'm really angry at you, you're treating me terrible, I pay so much for this school. And I thought that scene was like really intense because I always thought that Amber was like Daddy's little girl, so I assumed that he would kind of do whatever she wanted and be like really nice to her or whatever, but it seems like the relationship isn't as strong as I thought it would be. He actually seemed kind of harsh towards her, which made me feel really bad, and it kind of makes me curious about Amber's backstory and like her family life, so that was a really interesting scene. So Mr. Sweet ends up leaving the gatehouse with Mr. Millington to go back to school because they still have the business competition going on. So before it starts, Mr. Sweet makes an announcement to the entire school or everyone that's in the drama room and was like, okay, so just so everyone knows, Amber has been found. She was just sleepwalking. She's back resting at Anubis' house. So then Sibuna is even more suspicious now because they know for a fact Amber was not sleepwalking and they have no idea why she has to lie, so they're really confused, and at this point they decided they need to go find her, but they can't exactly get away because they're at school, so that becomes a problem for them. Then it cuts back to the gatehouse where Victor is talking to Amber one-on-one again, and this time he threatens her even more by saying that if she does not play along, that he's going to make her friends disappear one by one and expel them, and she's never going to see them again. So just look, the look on Amber's face is terrible because she does not want this to happen to them. She is terrified. I feel really bad for her. I've never hated Victor this much. Like, usually I feel kind of sympathetic for him because of his past and like really he doesn't want to hurt anyone, he just wants his power, but in this case he's actually threatening them, and yeah, not happy with him. It was really bad. So Victor forces Amber back to Anubis' house, forces her up into a room to start looking for the parcel. So Amber kind of is in panic mode. She ends up finding the parcel where she hid it, wraps it up, and gives it to Victor. Meanwhile, back at the business competition, Mr. Millington has made a decision that he tells Mr. Sweet that he is making Amber go to fashion school because he does not think Amber is getting the academic treatment, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean, that she should be at this school, and she needs to go somewhere else. But he does not tell anyone else yet, so no one knows. So after the whole business competition is over, Joy and Fabian won, by the way, Sibuna finally manages to sneak out, and as they're in the hallway, they see Amber get whisked away into Mr. Sweet's office, so immediately they're like, okay, we need to see what the heck is going on, so they run into the girls' bathroom, where they go open that peephole thing from season 1, which was really nostalgic for me, just seeing them like, oh, I was so happy to see season 1 things brought back. Continuity was really good. Good job, writers. But yeah, so they watch Amber in the office, And we also see what's going on in the office before Sibuna does, so we see that Amber has given them the package. Amber finds out that her dad's making her go to fashion school, and Victor is pretty much like, yeah, so you could probably not go if you really wanted to, but we strongly suggest you go or else your friends will be in danger, so pretty much she has no choice. Then we get to the part that Sibuna ends up seeing, and they see Amber giving them the package, and they're really confused because they're like, why would Amber betray us like that? That's really important information that she's just giving away. So they're kind of like mad at her. Later that night, everyone's back in Anubis' house. Then that's when Victor walks in and announces to everyone that Amber is going to fashion school, and that's that, she's already leaving. Alfie freaks out. He is beyond sad. He's freaking out because he's like, she didn't even say goodbye, what is going on? But there's really nothing they can do at this point. But then later that night, everyone's kind of like moping around the house, and all the Sibuna members, plus KT and Eddie, get a mysterious text from someone that says, meet me at the school right now. So they all kind of like aimlessly wander outside the house to go to the school to see what the heck is going on. Kind of not smart if you think about it, considering some of the things, especially for Sibuna, considering what they've gone through, because that could be like Rufusino for all they know, but they listen to the text and it ends up being Amber. She explains to them exactly what happened with the parcel. She's pretty much like, yeah, so Victor left me in my room to get his parcel, so I switched out the bracelet for one that Patricia had that looked kind of mysterious and cool, and then I switched out the hieroglyphs with all those fortunes that Katie threw out. So she gave that parcel to Victor. He had no idea, and then ends up flashing to a scene where Victor's opening the parcel and he actually believes everything, and later on we see him and Mr. Sweet like looking at these fortunes thinking they're actually like hints, and they're a little bit suspicious at first, but then they end up just going with it and they believe everything, so that's really good thinking on Amber's part. That was really awesome. And she has to tell them that yes, she is going to fashion school, and she kind of hints at the fact that Victor, Denby, and Sweet One are gone, but she doesn't say that they threatened them, which is probably kind of smart because she doesn't want them to think that she's like sacrificing herself for them, because then they'd probably make her stay. But yeah, so it's really sad because she's sacrificing her school life for her friends, but it's really good at the same time. Then she explains why she brought everyone here. She's like, okay, so since I'm going, you guys need to be Sibuna, so Fabian, you should be leader, but then Fabian's like, you know, I'm more of a follower, more of a sidekick, so since Eddie's the Osiris, he should be the leader. And everyone's really excited, and KT learns all about Sibuna, and it's really nice, and Amber's all like, you guys are gonna have so much fun, and just so many feels. It was really a sad scene, because after this part, it's like Amber's goodbye, and she's hugging everyone, and then she has this moment with Alfie, and they're, you know, they talk briefly and then they hug, and it's really sad. I was crying. But as sad as I am that Amber has to leave, the way they made her leave was perfect. Like, they made her character so, like, she left with a bang, because she totally just like helped Sibuna in the best way possible. She brought the people together, which is going to make these episodes much more interesting, because I think having KT and Eddie with the rest of Sibuna is going to make things way better. So I'm really excited. I'm really happy that Amber had her moment to shine before she left. And that entire scene was just perfect, despite how much I cried. So Amber leaves, and the next day we see Sibuna up in the attic going over the clues they found, and Fabian mentions that he has decoded something that says, children of children sleep the day by, so they're kind of pondering what that means. They think it might mean like Victor, or something to do with Denby's family, but then Eddie even suggests like, what if that has to do with me and Mr. Sweet, so they're kind of pondering that. And then Eddie ultimately decides that they need to go back to the gatehouse to figure out what the heck this tank guy is, and also look more into Denby because she's being really suspicious, and they found some more information about her, which I'll go into later. So they all go to the gatehouse. Patricia and Alfie distract Miss Denby outside, while KT, Fabian, and Eddie go up to the tank room, and KT ends up learning that originally Sibuna didn't trust her, so she gets really mad because she doesn't see why they wouldn't trust her like that. Obviously she doesn't know their story, because it makes sense for them not to trust her. But she gets really mad. She pushes Fabian, who knocks into the tank man, and he like is about to fall over, and the episode cuts off. So that's the entire Sibuna Amber thing. Huge part of the episode. There's a few like minor arcs that I'll go into now. KT and Eddie do some snooping on their own. They end up getting Mrs. Denby's computer and searching some information on her. They find like a whole document with like every single possible information about her that you could possibly need, like bank account and like driver's license and all this random stuff, so that makes them really confused. So they end up doing an internet search, and they find Mrs. Denby with all the exact information, but the picture is someone else. It's not the Miss Denby they know. It's someone else, and it's actually the strange woman that was in Eddie's last vision, so he's really confused. Then later on, Eddie has another vision where he's like in this like cellar, like tunnel thing, kind of reminds me of the tunnels from season 2, kind of like a catacomb, and he's about to get shoved into like this coffin, and then it cuts off before he gets like pushed in. It's really weird, kind of scary. And the last thing that's really important about their arc is that Denby goes back on her computer and realizes that someone was on it, and she finds their last search, which was on that website with the real Mrs. Denby, and finds the picture that's not her, so she's like, oh crap, I gotta fix this. So she switches the picture around so it's now her face rather than the actual Mrs. Denby, so that's gonna be really bad for Sibuna trying to prove that Miss Denby isn't who she really is. And then last arc there was some Jara drama. Right during the ceremonies, Willow accidentally lets it slip that she helped Jerome in his project. So Mara is like really mad now because she pretty much thinks that Jerome is cheating just to beat her, and she thinks that's terrible. And she ends up being so mad that she's like, okay, I think we should just cool it for right now, and basically breaks up with him. So Jerome's just like, what? And he's really upset. Later that night he tries to apologize him, and actually like he did a good job with apologizing. I really respect him for going to apologizing despite how happy I was that Jara broke up. But Mara decides to stay strong. She's really close to giving in and being like, I forgive you, but Joy's with her and is like, no, remember the Anubis sisterhood, he's acting like a jerk, do not go back to him. So she kind of just ignores him, and poor Jerome has to walk away girlfriendless. And I am way more excited about this than I should feel bad, but Jara broke up and I'm excited, so don't judge me. Alright, so favorite moments. First is Jerome and Alfie's presentation for their Alfredo hot dogs at the business competition. It was just really funny. Alfie was being insane. He's in his costume saying the weirdest things ever, and it's hilarious. Second is when Mara breaks up with Jerome and she says, you're not the person I thought you were, and I'm just like, thank you, you finally realized this. Jerome definitely has his good side, but he's also got this bad side that you gotta be careful about, and I'm glad she realized that, and even if they do get back together, hopefully she'll keep that in mind. Third was Willow's little fashion show, because she modeled Amber's dress that she made for the business competition, and she was like working it. It was like she didn't seem like kooky, crazy flower child. She actually seemed like confident and like model-like, and then the entire time Jerome was kind of like checking her out from the audience, which was kind of funny, and I was shipping it really hard because I ship Will Rome pretty hard right now. Fourth was KT getting invited to join the Anubis sisterhood. The entire thing was kind of cheesy, but it was also really exciting, and I was glad to see KT like finally fitting in with all the Anubis girls, including Patricia, and the entire scene was just really cute and girly, and they're like raiding Amber's closet, and I really liked it. Fifth is Sibuna's little meeting in the attic. It was just like so nostalgic for me from previous seasons, mostly season 1. The attic was all back to normal after Vera staying in there as a bedroom. It looked like a storage place again, and they were just like hanging out there looking at clues, and I was really excited because it made me think of old times. And the last favorite moment is with Amphi. Right before their goodbye, Amber whispers something into Alfie's ear, and you can't hear it, but then he gets all excited and hugs her. And Alex Sawyer, who plays Alfie, revealed on Twitter that the first thing that Anna said to him when they filmed that was, I love you, so that made me really excited, because that's what I was hoping she said to him. So yeah, even though she said other things to him after that take, which apparently he can't repeat on Twitter, so that's making my imagination like run wild here, because I imagine there could have been some pretty funny things said. But just that first line, the fact that that was the first thing that she said, I'm making that my headcanon, that's what Amber said to Alfie. Yes, it happened. But that also leads to my least favorite moment. After that whispering thing, Amber and Alfie only just hugged, and I thought they really deserved a kiss. Because technically they were still dating, I'm pretty sure, and they only ever kissed in season 1 before they were even dating. It was when Amber was using Alfie to make Mick jealous, so the fact that they didn't get like a proper kiss was really sad, especially with Amber leaving. So that was my only least favorite moment about this episode. But yeah, overall this was a wonderful episode. This episode reminded me why I love this show in the first place. It was so good. I'm just really excited now that like Sibuna's come together, and even with Amber gone, I'm really still excited that I think everything's gonna get really good from this point on, so I'm excited, I'm happy. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys this week. So comment question this week. Okay, I'm gonna make this a petty thing. How do you think Patricia and Eddie are going to act now that they're both working together as Sibuna? So do you think there'll be tension? Do you think they'll agree to be friends? Do you think they'll get back together? Do you think they're gonna be screaming in each other's faces? Let me know. Comment, I'll leave you my theories as you guys leave your theories, and we'll have a big conversation in the comments. It'll be fun. Or you can tweet me or tumble me, links in the description box. And yeah, that's all I have for for this week. So, bye, Sibuna.